Hey, I'm streaming. Gotta go to YouTube and pull up the link to my stream. Nope, not that one. Click, oh, that's fine because it's not my account. Click library. Oh, fuck you. Studio. Videos. What the hell? Oh, there we go. Live. There we go. Copy. Get shareable link. Minimizement. Oh, nope, don't close that. That would be a bad thing to close. Trying to close OBS. Turn the light on so I can see what the fuck I'm doing. Angle the TV a bit. So light not directly in front of my face. Okay. Huh. So apparently the bot does not catch the live stream. Link is in Destiny videos because I have no other way of doing it. Alright, here we go. And that's not working for some reason. Oh. There we go.
It had been fine. Like they did.
Well, really, the big first one was Outbreak Prime in D1. That was a
Yeah.
massive community.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, whenever I talk, I'm talking pretty much
Just
complete ignorance
Yeah.
of anything in Destiny 1.
Okay, so... Whoa! Cut this all that is going on my computer. Control K. Cut this out. Control K. Cut this all out. Control K.
Well, really, the big first one was Outbreak Prime in D1. That was a massive community.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cut this little section out because all he's doing is saying stuff and it's...
Listen, I feel like they did.
Well, really, the big first one was Outbreak Prime in
muddying
D1.
up the audio.
That was a massive community.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, whenever I talk, I'm talking pretty much
Just
complete ignorance of anything in ignorance of anything in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
I know Destiny 2, everyone loved it when it happened in last week.
So this is just Soren playing Destiny. It's just a bunch of clicking and stuff like that, so I'm going to remove that. Same for this little bit. I don't want those kinds of sounds muddying up the audio.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what they called it, Sequence 5 or whatever with the trees.
Mhm.
Those two problems really, like, together especially, really hurt the thing.
Yeah, so there's another really loud chunk, so remove that little bit. Just go ahead and remove those bits.
Really hurt the thing.
Okay, so when it's my turn, I'm gonna go off about the trees thing because God, the trees.
I will go ahead and say.
I know that was Alphonse laughing, but it was just blowing out the speaker, so I'm gonna cut that out.
Okay, so when it's my turn, I'm gonna go off about the tree. Oh
Well,
my god!
Once again, this is Soren just clicking away. Well, let's see.
It's 23 hours.
I
think that was him talking to his wife, actually.
It's 23 hours.
Yeah, that's nothing of consequence. Hold on up here. Once again, nothing of consequence up here, so I'll cut that out, clean it up a bit. Whoop.
the thing.
Okay, so when it's my turn, I'm gonna go off about the trees thing because oh my god, the trees.
I will.
Once again, disliked here, just making a bunch of noises. Clear that up. Let's see, what's this?
I do think that the hint was lacking, especially in telling.
Holy shit, that's just a bunch of noise. Clean that up.
Oh my god, the trees.
I will go ahead and say, not that it didn't lead you in the right direction, but it didn't tell you how to do
this. A bunch of this.
Whoop.
I'm in a soapbox now because we're going over this.
Okay, so that's fine to keep because unlike Alphonse, he wasn't blowing out the speakers with his laugh.
Because we're going over this. A Bungie developer.
So, lesson learned here, if you're going to laugh, don't laugh directly into the mic because the air, they're called P-pops, just the air hitting the mic.
I'm in a soapbox now because we're going over. I'm in a soapbox now because we're going over this. A Bungie developer went in.
Cut out this like here. Cut out this like here. Cut all of this is this anything of substance?
Higher chat. Ripped him a new one. Until later it turns out, shoot trees. I think they understood.
Oh. Once again, more of Soren clacking away. More of Effulgent clacking away. And another reason why I do all this is because even like these empty bits here, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out because what this is doing is it's actually reducing the overall file size. So where possible, I like cutting out as much of this empty audio as possible because it's just less stuff that has to get compressed into the MP3. Holy crap, these guys went a while without saying anything. This is Dorthorn and Alphonse. Let's screw that, because if I end up having to make timing changes, it's better to have chunks of stuff for me to grab onto than to just have emptiness. Wait, what are these?
So unlocked the final forge,
well,
but
it was supposed to.
It was supposed to. It was supposed to unlock the final forge.
Cut that out. Cut this out. Cut this out. And once again, all of this is just reducing how much crap there is. Because that in turn helps reduce file size. Although, I'm 100% sure on that, but at this point I just do it as a matter of habit. What's this?
General event.
Cool.
I will say though, one thing that
Cut that out. And cut all this out. I'm eventually going to merge all of these into one file track. and I will then bring the intro, which is a file track I already have established, in, and then with the intro track. So essentially, I'm going to bring this down into one track, bring in the intro track. This will then follow the intro track, and then everything will be complete. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's telling me, you don't have to do all that stuff. When you convert down to MP3, it will automatically, of its own accord, remove all the empty space by itself. Yeah, okay.
Vaguely about forests and
me.
stuff.
What's this?
Yeah, you know, he had a family was French. He managed to implement his culture into this game that he works on. It was super cool, and he was tweeting very vaguely about forests and stuff. But he also kept kind of retracting his statements, saying,
Okay, so cut that bit out. Trying very hard just to get the actual things of substance here. So when people say right occasionally, a lot of the time I just cut it out. Like a lot of dislikes, I just cut it out.
you know, you can interpret that different ways when you're when you have the knowledge that they shouldn't be telling you what they're telling you.
He's trolling us.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
or not
but
even just trolling, but he's trying to like.
This all gets cut. This gets cut. Let's see, does this say anything?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
or not
but
even just trolling, but he's trying to like maybe.
Mislead.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. So we'll cut up to where I start speaking. Cut this equal length.
That you're going in the right direction by saying you had the right thing with forest. Trying to like maybe
Mislead.
reassure you that you're going in the right direction by saying you had.
So that doesn't actually add anything. Dislike does not react to it, so I'm going to cut that out.
He's trying to like maybe
Mislead.
reassure you that you're going in the right direction by saying you had the depth in any given case. They always give. I actually like to think of it.
Right.
They don't see the forest for the trees, which was literally one of the hints.
Yeah.
Like, even in the chat, he was saying you're not seeing the.
Let's see how that sounds. I might be cutting it real fucking close to that waveform.
Right.
They don't see the forest for the trees.
This is going to be real hard to cut.
Which was literally one of the hints.
Okay, so this bit is just like talking over me, and it muddies up the audio. And up here again, we've got just a bunch of effulgent clacking away.
Hints. Even in the chat, he was saying you're not seeing the forest, and he capitalized.
Example.
Even in the chat, he was saying you're not seeing the forest.
It fucks up my audio. Now, if I do it solo, unfortunately, because of the way you record.
Even in the chat, he was saying you're not seeing the forest, and he capitalized the word forest for the trees.
But I also do think that no one's blameless.
Because of the way that the Discord recording bot works, when two people speak over each other, it automatically levels the volume between the two. And unfortunately, it means that a lot of the time when you're talking and somebody says, like, yeah, over you talking, then you just go, whoop, real fucking low down. Just like, near. And it sounds like complete shit. And if I want to fix it, I actually have to go in and, like, use the transform tool and grab that little bit and go, oh, a little bit bigger. But I have to split it into little bits and break it down. It's just such a fucking hassle. And even if I use the audio normalize tool, effect. If I use the normalize audio effect, I already did that on my vocal track here. It does some stuff, but not nearly as much as you would think it would. So I actually have to individually, like, grab this bit. Whoop, wrong one. go in here, and then I'd have to cut here, and then grab this, and then grab here, and bring this up a little bit, and to be able to do that, I'd have to flip. So I'd have to cut here, and then grab the audio form, and, oh wait, I don't have to. Still, to individually go through each specific waveform and change it would suck. Hold on. I learned something new.
Even in the chat, he was.
Right.
They don't see the forest for the trees, which was literally one of the hints. Like,
yeah.
Even in the chat, he was saying.
Right here. Whoop. Can I grab this little? Whoop. Like that. Try here and here. Bring this up. Bring this up. Bring this up. See how that sounds?
Yeah.
Even in the chat, he was saying you're not.
No, still sounds like complete shit. Complete waste of time. Who cares?
In the chat, he was saying you're not seeing the forest, and he capitalized the word forest for the trees.
But I also do think.
Cut that little bit out.
For the trees.
But I also do think that, no one's blameless here.
There's a little bit of white noise there for me, probably shifting around.
Yeah.
Bungie's hint wasn't adequate, and the community's approach was incorrect.
Right.
Soren clearing his throat. That can go.
Was incorrect.
Right.
That's the thing I want to say, especially. It was hurt on both sides.
Chat.
But okay.
Yeah, and I'm coming at it with, hindsight, and I was at work when this whole thing was going down, so I was only able to catch snippets on Reddit every once in a while. But I still think it's absurd that this one particular step, where the developers started coming in, multiple developers.
Okay. Oh, wait, I can just go to Discord. There we go. Discord on my phone. I don't care. No, don't close the thing. Open the thing. There we go. Okay. Now I can see chat. Probably should have done that earlier.
That's the thing I want to say. That's the thing I want to say, especially. It was hurt on both sides. But okay.
Yeah, and I'm coming at it with, hindsight, and I was at work when this whole thing was going.
So a lot of what I'm looking for is I'm looking for these little tiny waveform fluctuations, because a lot of these generally tend to be just background noise. A lot of the time when we're doing recording, people are playing Destiny as we're recording. So there's a lot of, just white noise in the backgrounds that muddies up everything else. So I'm just cutting all of it out as I go. Now I do want to retain some white noise.
It was going down, so I was only able to catch snippets on Reddit every once in a while. But I still think it's absurd that this.
Yeah, disliked here, just bunch of vocalizations.
But okay.
Yeah, and I'm coming at it with, hindsight, and I was at work when this whole thing was going down, so I was only able to catch snippets on Reddit every.
But okay.
Yeah,
but okay.
Oh God.
Telling you, hey, it has to do with the forest, and my complaint is more about the community. It's just everybody ignoring them and ripping the one.
I was in there.
That is just a distraction. I pushed the wrong button. Cut that out. Keep Soren in. Cut all this out. Cut all this to that point out. Cut both these to there out.
That was cryptically related to the puzzle and claimed to be a person with insider knowledge. that then tweeted hints that were completely baseless and had no accuracy to the final solution. This is the kind of stuff.
And Bungie came out and said these people.
That can all get cut out.
You do with us. These aren't real.
Solution. This is the kind of
and
stuff.
And Bungie came out and said these people. Yeah. This has nothing to do with us. These aren't real.
Yeah, and this is like the.
Don't need that.
Aren't real.
And this is like the stream. This is what these people who are solving the puzzle have to deal.
Cut this out to here. Actually, let's see what this is.
Something else. And also, we as puzzle solvers love digging in deep and assuming there's more depth.
Right.
I think you.
Man, Soren says a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
When you just flat. I don't want to harp on this. And okay, I don't want to harp on this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cut from here up to here out. I want to keep some stuff in, but this much is just unnet. Oh, screw you. This much yups and yes and are just unnecessary. A lot of the time they distract. So cut most of it out. Cut this out. Let's see what this is.
Is its length.
Yeah.
The inability to.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. I can see his are fairly infrequent a lot of the time. So it's really, nope, not what I wanted to do. So it's really not as bad as what dislike does. Dislike will, like every second, say it. Say yeah or mm-hmm. And then that's just takes up a lot. And then it feels like he's always trying to interject as well. And it feels like he's a bit impatient. So I find it's better just to cut all of it out because then it's less distracting for the listeners. I do have to admit, I do like when somebody talks for a long time because then I can just go through and cut like huge chunks of crap out that's unnecessary. This one was really playing right here.
On paper, was really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make one final statement on this, and then we're gonna move on to the last topic because I'm sure the rest of our cast are tired of listening to just the two of us go off.
Yep.
Yeah, see, like that. See, Sorens are like what, every once a minute, maybe every 15 seconds. There's disliked with like 4 in about a 10-second period. I'm sure all of these are exactly the same thing.
And they unfortunately overcorrected from their previous puzzles, because if you remember Outbreak Prime, the community looked into it.
Yeah, sounds like it. Oh, no, that's just him making noises. Okay, cut that out. Unsolo that. Take a lot of this out. Catch these two guys up to, there's a fulgent right here. Cut that out. Cut this out to here. By the way, this is what I do for the entirety of the podcast. We're at 40 minutes. Yeah, we've got a ways to go. So right about here is where we are, and I have the rest of this to do. It is not a rapid process by any means. Actually, let's go down one more. Cut that out to there.
It wasn't intended to be.
Even brute forced, it was done within what, like a week?
Oh, less than that.
It was
It wasn't intended to be.
even brute forced, it was done within what was fucking.
Well, it was brute forced.
It was
It
brute
wasn't
forced, but
intended to be.
even brute forced, it was done.
Yeah, so here I would cut myself out here to make that a bit more.
Was fucking.
Well, it was brute forced. It wasn't intended to be.
Even brute forced, it was done within what, like a week?
Oh, less than that.
It was fast.
Yeah.
These kinds of community.
Yeah, so a little bit of editing magic there.
Forest in France. And
That was the puzzle. Broceliande.
Yeah, so
that's the name of the force.
Even that one got, discovered within a couple hours. And
that was the puzzle. Broceliande.
Yeah, so
that's the name of the force.
Even
that bit does not contribute anything, and in fact, if anything, it just muddies it up a little bit over dislike saying stuff.
And
that was the puzzle. Broceliande.
Yeah, so
that's the name of the force.
Even that one got, discovered within it.
So I would then take my bit here, cut that out.
It's about some really obscure forest in France.
That was the puzzle. Broceliande.
Yeah, so
that's the name of the force.
Even that one got, discovered within a couple hours, and I think Bungie puzzle, nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can I? Yeah.
Fuck. Cut that out. Cut these two out to here. Cut disliked out to here. Should have lined up, but oh well.
The puzzle, nice and easy.
Well, can I?
Cut this out. Cut out my little chunk here because that's not doing anything. Cut that out to clean it up.
People to just send in some information and resolve the puzzle.
My phone's
nice and easy.
Oh.
Well, can I? Yeah, I'd like to comment on that part of it, right? Like, so two things, like just around now, and like the.
I swear, with how often dislike speaking and him constantly trying to direct where we're going, it sounds to me like he's aiming for my job.
Right? Like, usually they have some concept of, like, everything you need to solve the puzzle is in the room, so it doesn't assume prior knowledge and stuff like that, right? And
I'm okay, I swear.
has, at various points in my life, been fascinated by, like, things like geocaching.
That's completely superfluous. Cut all that out.
Thing, right? Like there was this aspect of
Yeah, we'll leave Sorens in. It's nice having somebody say something occasionally, just not every 10 seconds. There's Soren laughing. You can tell when he laughs because
so like so yeah,
very high peaks and it's a very quick laugh, so I can always see when he's laughing because of those. So if you want to know what Soren's laugh looks like, that's it right there. Looks kind of like a hair comb.
I think to plug in a random Norse alphabet into something that's just that's just a thing. And then at
we can keep the giggle in, but those are I can assure you.
Content, when part of the new content is the journey of like the community discovering things. So
yeah, all that can go. This is Dorkthron, and this might be him laughing.
Out. Like
Yep.
even
I would
when
say
internally we were trying to figure out like the like
Yep.
even people say that that's not fair, or I paid for this content, or like all this
Yeah.
other stuff, and I'm just like, I mean, that's just
Okay, we can cut that little bit out. What's this?
I mean, that's just a Tuesday. I mean, that's just a Tuesday figuring that out. Like
Yep.
even
I would
when
say
Cut. Well, cut that out. That's obviously useless. Cut this out to the same point. What is this?
thinking about. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Dor.
There you go. Yeah, you go.
I was gonna, and this is generally what. I think one thing I was thinking about. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Dor.
There you go. Yeah, you go.
I was gonna, and this is generally what
What's this little bit?
I think.
internally we were trying to figure
That's just some. This is him trying to hop
it
on.
out. Like even
I would
when
say
Yeah, so cut all this out. Go here. All this can get cut. This is just uh-huhs and hms. That doesn't contribute anything. Cut this out to here. Shore this up on both. Some more random clacks up here. So let's take this out here. What's he saying here?
has nothing to do with me, and I'm not sure I want anything to do with it either.
I do want to make a counterpoint to that, though.
yeah, go ahead.
Which
You don't tell me to go ahead on my own podcast. Delete Ed. No, I'm just kidding. Just clearing stuff up. This, I'm assuming, is in
much. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks. You're missing out on.
Yeah, okay. Bring that up to there. Actually, you know what? It's not worth it. Just cut it all out. What's he saying here?
And that's kind of what they were
Right,
doing.
that's very cool.
So this is, yeah, it's not aimed for you, but somebody
Yeah, I'm not saying it has
else
to
who
be for
plays
me.
this game is gonna complete this thing that you.
Cut that out because that's not actually adding anything. And back over here. Cut this out to here. Cut this to here. Cut this out.
Just about like you know, the game as a puzzle or the game as as an endeavor from people who are just casually logging in to shoot some stuff and have some fun. And
Yeah.
even within a world where there
What's up with the hat? Are you laughing at the fact that I'm using Audacity and just cutting the shit out of everything?
the game as a puzzle or the game as as an endeavor.
Oh, fuck that noise. So that's obviously disliked. Getting stuff.
You know, the game as a puzzle or the game as as
So that's just mic pop. I can get cut. Yeah, sorry you said something 5 minutes ago and I didn't notice.
I've seen in years. And then yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, I was also going to add in.
Disliked before you.
Wow, it looks like I am the odd man out here. So,
No, I wanted.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to add in two things. Sorry, Gio. I
but it's
really
a
want
little
to say
bit
this
more
quick.
conceptual than that.
I cut myself out here. We had a bit of a moment there between us where we were all trying to say a thing, and that was pretty cool.
Years. And then yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, I was also going to add in.
Disliked before you.
Wow, it looks like I am the odd man out here. So,
No, I wanted to.
Sorry.
Hold on. I want to add in two things. Sorry, Gio. I
but it's
really
a
want to
little
say
bit
this
more
quick.
conceptual than that. Is all I add. It's not
Yeah.
about.
Whoop, cut. And cut to here. Oh. Yeah, it kind of felt like it, that he my job. But then again, I don't see him sitting here editing down all this crap. Hey Theo, did you happen to see the just how fucking long this thing is? Here, I'll zoom out for you again. So here's where we are. That's how much I have to do. I am maybe a quarter, a third of the way through so far. Yeah. I don't see anybody else volunteering for this shit. If somebody else wants to volunteer and take over editing these things so I can just stick to hosting, I'd be so happy. Unfortunately, I don't think there is anybody else that would be interested in doing editing.
It's the audience participation.
Yeah, and I like it's a community achievement, and so that's what I really appreciate.
I wonder if I should clean this up.
In their own little way.
It's the audience participation.
Yeah.
Let's see how this sounds. I remove that.
I feel involved in their own little way.
It's the audience participation.
Yeah, and I like it's a community achievement, and so that's what I really appreciate. And for clarity, like I too am like, you know, I think we try.
Not to try to minimize effulgent, it's just a matter of, you know, what sounds good. What has the most clarity for the listeners. And here's some more effulgent, just making noises. Or disliked, I mean. As long as an hour. Cool! I think our shortest has so far has been 2.5 hours.
Okay, so I want to get Dork Throne. I want to get your last words on this particular bit. I know you're the odd man out, so why don't you finish us off with the dissenting opinion, and then we'll move on to lore with Alphonse, because Alphonse has not had shit to say for like 20 minutes now.
Lore.
No, I think not dislike.
There. Oh wait, was that Alphonse doing his little lore thing?
Then we'll move on to lore with Alphonse, because Alphonse has not had shit to say for like 20 minutes now.
Lore.
Yeah, that was actually dislike saying lore, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that in because that was kind of funny. Let's cut all this out. I'll leave Soren's laugh in. I like when Soren laughs because it acts as sort of like a relief valve. I'm not generally one who laughs a whole lot. So whenever he laughs, I generally try to keep that in because it helps lighten the mood of the rest of the podcast a bit. It shows listeners that, yeah, we might get a bit heated, but it's not like anger. We're not actually mad at each other. Some of us are just cracking jokes.
Jealous.
So you're like 90% of the Destiny community then. Sorry, I just had to get that burn in. Go ahead.
We should say that you're definitely not alone in this in general. You just happen to be in a call with a bunch of people who
Sometimes
feel the other.
somebody's audio. No, that's just the it's just a matter of the bandwidth. The way that we do the recording is we have a bot called Craig, and Craig just sits in the voice chat, and because he's in voice chat, he hears what everybody's saying. And I guess it's just like a side effect of how Discord does their bandwidth compression thing, that when two people are speaking, it kind of like muffles both of them so that they're both heard and it's not just blowing out your speakers. But it ends up causing situations like this where, like I showed earlier with my audio, where I was saying something and Dislike said, yeah, and my voice just dropped like a motherfucker, real low in volume. And even going in and, using my transform tool here to try to adjust that upwards, it sounds like shit. Which is why generally, while I say on the podcast it's fine if we talk over each other and, do stuff like that, I'm talking situations like, like this, where three of us are dissenting opinions.
And then, yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, I was also
actually,
going to add in.
Disliked before you.
Wow, it looks like I am the odd man out here. So
No, I wanted to.
sorry.
Hold on. I want to add in two things. Sorry, Gio.
But it's
I really
a
want to
little
say
bit
this
more
quick.
conceptual than that. Is all.
This is what I'm talking about when we talk over each other. These kinds of situations where it's like, oh, the three of them are, everybody wants to get their point out. That kind of thing, I'm fine with that. But when it's like disliked like this, just lots of uh-huhs right here.
But it was entirely real world. Very similar,
Right.
but it wasn't in game as much as real world.
And you can hear how Soren's audio is getting fucked here.
But it was entirely real world. Very similar, but it wasn't in game as much as real world.
That's where it
All right,
fucks up
so
the audio.
let's move on.
And I hate it. I hate that it happens. And
Community then.
people have made suggestions that we just do push to talk only, and then I call on whoever should be talking and that kind of thing. But then it feels a lot more restricted. Like nobody can speak unless I give them permission to, and that's not kind of the recording culture that I want. I want us to be able to have disagreements and speak over each other to try to get our point across. Like a bunch of friends hanging out. So I don't want to go the push to talk route, even though it has these kinds of audio issues. It's unfortunate until we come up with a higher quality audio recording solution, like on WeCaster, if we can get on WeCaster working, or if, I don't know, we end up setting up with a very specific cast of people that we're going to use for every episode, and then we can all record onto Audacity individually, and then just speak to each other through audio, or through Discord. That way we all have, the max quality audio we can have, and then I just sync them all together later in Audacity. Unfortunately, this is going to be a side effect that we just have to live with for the time being, unless there's somebody way smarter than me that can figure out how to fix that.
So you're like 90% of the Destiny community then.
I'm jealous.
So you're like 90% of the.
Okay, let me zoom in here. I want to get this cut just right so I can get my little joke out. Whoa.
I'm jealous.
So you're like 90% of the Destiny community then. Sorry, I just had to get that burn in. Go ahead.
We should say that you're definitely not alone in this in general. You just happen to be in a call with a bunch of people who.
Cut that. Cut this up to here. Cut this up to... Oh, no, fuck you. Cut this up to here. Well,
it's also not it's not a big deal to me, right? I don't care.
And that's where you and the other people differ.
Yeah. Oh, not disliked. The one you couldn't think of.
Yeah, unfortunately there are some trade-offs with everything we do. Trying to get everybody to sit down and learn Audacity in the record situation means that everybody would need to, download the system and then also record through their computers. Dorkthrone, for example, I'm pretty sure he's recording through his phone.
About more interesting community aspect of it that has grown, which I think is very cool.
That's why he sounds a lot worse than like
90% of the Destiny community then.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to get that burn in. Go ahead.
I'm using a professional microphone, semi-professional microphone. I'm pretty sure he's just calling in through his phone. So he wouldn't even, if he is using his phone, he wouldn't even be able to record through Audacity. There are pros and cons with everything, and trying to do a podcast with a clan where it's literally just picking whoever we decide is going to be on the episode that week, and we have to record down to the lowest common denominator's ability, which generally means we'll just do all the recording ourselves.
Entirely real world. Very similar, but it wasn't in game as much as real world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
There's more disliked. That can all get cut. Cut all of that out. Once again, it's just going to muddy up the audio. this down to here. There's Alphonse talking. See, is this laughter?
Here.
Yep, that is laughter.
Get us started on lore. What did you like about it?
Cut this down to here. Cut this out. More clackety clacks. Don't need clackety clacks. Cut this out. What's this little thing?
Anticipation here. Get us started on lore. What did you like about it? What did you dislike?
Well, specifically for both seasons or just Black Armory still?
We're still doing Black Armory. We'll do Drifter. After this, we'll go over what we didn't like, which actually, you know what? Screw that. We've gone over that pretty much entirely. Maybe favorite guns, and then we'll move on to the Drifter. So just go ahead and stick to...
Someone didn't actually mute his Discord. So, like, every 10 seconds there's a bloop sound, which is why I'm cutting out a shitload of his stuff as well. And then at some point, also, his cat just starts going nuts in the background. I think he says that it's because he never taught his cat to not talk when he's got stuff in his mouth. So his cat's always meowing. But, yeah, it's fucking loud. I'm just going to go ahead and cut all that out when I get to it. I made a joke about using it for the intro sequence, but trying to isolate that out. And
Either?
Yeah. All players are guardians, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like...
Trying to isolate that out is going to be difficult. What the fuck was that noise?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like... You know what I mean. But I want to counter...
Okay, so that was Alphonse making that noise. That was here.
Which to me was surprising.
Do you mean we the players or we the guardians?
Either?
Yeah. All players are guardians, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you know what I mean. But I want to counterpoint that with, don't forget the sun.
Cut that little bit of noise out. Cut all of this noise out. That's probably him just playing Destiny again. Cut all of this noise out, which I'm pretty sure is just disliked doing his thing again. What's this?
And it wasn't until Taken King that he told us, okay, go ahead and do this thing. Black Armory, to counterpoint what...
I also think there's a difference between him...
Okay. Cut that out.
Until later on.
I also think there's a...
Shit. Got an opening there. So I'm going to grab all these. Grab slide tool. Bring that up.
Zavala had that information and locked it away from the Guardians until later on.
I also think there's a difference between him knowing everything and knowing where it is and where to find it. I mean, you have to realize there's 10...
Really? Really? Fine, fuck you. Stupid audacity. This is the worst possible fucking time to have a song stuck in my head. What is all of this noise? What the fuck is going on? Is this the cat?
Of the history that person has would be Ikora.
Right.
With her scouts and the things that... Yeah, the things that she does that we don't even know about at this point, really. Like, we know that they're everywhere and they're doing...
Sounds like him moving around on his couch. Cut all of that out. It's more dislike noise. Oh, fuck. Cut that.
So,
no, it's right next door.
Is it?
Yeah,
yeah,
you can look out of the current tower and see it next.
Okay.
This is a lot of what the podcast editing is. It's just me going through, cutting a bunch of shit out.
Oh no, it's right next door.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
can look out of the current tower and see it next.
Got myself out.
We are.
Oh
So
no, it's right next door.
Is it?
Yeah, you can look out of the current tower and see it next.
okay, yeah, but it's a few hundred yards away. But
Okay, yeah,
our Guardians never went to this area.
right.
The Vanguard were in their area. It might just very well have been that our Guardians never went to this spot. We never knew about it. The Vanguard.
Cut that out because that's just not helping much. Cut these little clicks and clacks out. Does Dork record straight from his phone mic, or does he connect the mic to his phone? I have no idea. Honestly, this was the very first time we had him, and I did not expect his audio quality to be like this. When I do the interview episode, I'm going to check with him beforehand and see what he's using, because if possible, I'd like people to use headphones of any sort. Even just, like, Soren's just using the same gaming headphones that, or I don't even know if they're gaming headphones. He just uses the same headphones that he uses when we play Destiny together. So, the way that it sounds, the way Dorkno's audio is coming through, I think he's just recording straight from his phone. Wouldn't be the first time. Dupe actually popped in here for a little bit. I ended up cutting him out entirely because he had all of like 30 seconds of stuff to say, and then he ducked out like 5 minutes later without saying anything else. It sounded very similar in quality.
What else have they kept in? They kept
I don't think it was them.
They kept
the
thieving
Vanguard
it
keeping
for
it hidden.
thousands of fucking years until
I also
shit went wrong.
I also see it as more like a drifter scenario. The Vanguard knows the drifter's there.
God, what else have they kept in? They kept
I
thieving.
don't think it was them.
They kept
the
thieving
Vanguard
it
keeping
for
it hidden.
thousands of fucking years until
I also
went wrong.
I also see it as more like a drifter scenario. The Vanguard knows the drifter's there.
This is hard to pick.
Oh God, what else have they kept in? They kept thieving.
I don't think it was them.
They kept
the
thieving
Vanguard
it
keeping
for
it hidden.
thousands of fucking years until
I also
went wrong.
I also see it as more like a drifter scenario.
I'm gonna cut this out. Because that was a little
God, what else have they kept in? They kept thieving.
I don't think it was them.
They kept
the
thieving
Vanguard
it
keeping
for
it hidden.
thousands of fucking years until shit went wrong.
I also see it as more like a drifter scenario. The Vanguard knows the drifter's there. They maybe don't necessarily know maybe even where he is, but they know he's in the tower and they know he's sneaking around. That was clear in the lore pages that they released leading up to Season of the Drifter. That's like, Drifter sneaking all around.
Yeah.
Sneaking
True.
around. So, maybe it's a similar thing where like the Black Armory is setting up in the tower and being really
That's a bit different though.
and the Vanguard finds out about it but chooses deliberately to leave it alone and just
I think
monitor.
that's completely different.
Call this out. Cut this out because even though it's not showing up on the waveform, there's definitely clacking going on there. Got myself out here to right about there. Well, let's see what I do here.
Sneaking around. So maybe it's a similar thing where like the
I might just cut the two of us out here until I get to about this point.
Tower and being really
That's a bit different though.
And the Vanguard finds out about
Whoa! Mouse is acting up there. Poor Alphonse. This was supposed to be a discussion on his topic and just turned into us.
Deliberately to leave it alone and just
I
monitor.
think that's completely different though, because the Drifter is a new thing. The Drifter came out.
I just meant in terms of their current setup.
humanity for this thing.
I
So
just meant in terms of their current.
Actually, you know what? I could probably cut from back here to there.
Into the tower.
Yeah.
With how much
They
stuff
do
they
that.
have set up in the tower, I think they would need the Vanguard's permission to be there.
Like how they moved into the tower.
Yeah.
With how much
They do
stuff
that.
they have set up in the tower, I think they.
Doo-doo-doo.
The tower.
Yeah.
With how much stuff they have set up in the. Not Saladin.
Saladin.
Saladin? Yeah, it is Saladin.
Yeah.
Saladin, who's older than just about everybody else, knew about Siva, and we never knew about it until shit went wrong.
By the way, you're getting a sneak peek
Where they
on
set
this,
up their base.
week's episode.
And it's
Right,
like,
the
oh
Wonder.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Volander. And now, oh shit, the enemies of humanity are getting this next door to where they set up their base. And it's
Right,
like,
the
oh
Wonder.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Volander. And now, oh shit, the enemies of humanity are getting this stuff. This all.
Yep.
And we.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. What's this?
Because I do think it's interesting that when you first meet her, she that lived outside
Yeah.
of the tower.
I mean,
isn't it?
I think there's lore that Hawthorne was arming people from the Black Armory because their stated mission was to arm normal humans, non-guardians.
But the
So
counterpoint to that is that a lot of the EDZ weapons were actually built by the British dude voiced by Gideon Emery in the tower, whose name
Devram
is
K.
Devram.
Devram K.
Good old Devram.
Uncle Dev.
So I don't think that's a
station
Black
easy to
Armory
find.
stuff.
Isn't it also true that
Clean this up a little bit. Clean that up. Remove this. Move this up to here. Move all of this up to here. Yeah, that's a good point. Move this from here to here.
By Gideon Emery in the tower, whose name
Devram
is
K.
Devram.
Devram K.
Good old Devram.
Uncle Dev.
So I don't
Radio
think that's a
station
Black
easy to
Armory
find.
stuff.
Isn't it also true that
Move that a little bit out to clean it up.
So I don't
Radio
think that's a
station
Black
easy to
Armory
find.
stuff.
isn't it also true that potentially, and I admit I have not.
Forgot I have to pause to cut. Whoa! How's it acting up? Is this him laughing?
The entire lore, and I fucking loved it. So the Black Armory.
Yep, that's laughing. What is this noise? That's a
I'm-
spike.
Oh my god, this is where I get to go.
That's where I clap my hands. Whoa! Alphonse said something here?
So the Black Armory. I'm not going to go into depth about it.
Whoa! My mouse acts up a lot. Some more Soren playing video games. See what this is.
You know, the
Warlords.
Dark Ages started.
Got
The Dark Ages started. The Age of Warlords, and that's actually why.
Oh, I feel so bad now because this was Alphonse's topic and we completely stole it from him. Oh, why does he even come on the podcast when I treat him like shit like this? Damn it, I missed.
I don't even remember the main characters. When it's her daughter, it's her murdered daughter's consciousness uploaded into an EXO. Holy shit, the tears.
I should probably read it.
You should.
It is a good story.
I read most of the
Spoiler
other
warning.
ones,
Get the tears.
I should probably read it.
It is a good story.
I read.
Alright.
Read it.
You should.
It is a good story.
I read most
Spoiler
of the other
warning.
ones, yeah.
The tears.
I should probably read it.
You should.
It is a good story.
I read most of the
Spoiler
other
warning.
ones,
Shit, the tears.
I should probably read it.
You should.
It is a good story.
I read most of the
Spoiler
other
warning.
ones, yeah. Well, that was a little bit late.
It is a good story.
I read most of the
Spoiler
other
warning.
ones, yeah. Well, that was a little bit late.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have. I was thinking about it. I feel like they would have got it from the "I'm gonna dive deep into this" quote
Yeah.
at the beginning of the
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry about that. Alphonse, I'm sure you had something to say. I fucking love that lore. Those like 13 chapters are great.
My last comment.
Whoa! Whoa! Shit's acting up. Cut that out. What? What the fuck? Oh. Right now I can see it.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, sorry about that. Alphonse, I'm sure you had something to say.
Okay, so trying to edit while streaming. Not a good idea because my computer does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, sorry about that. Alphonse, I'm sure you had something to say. I fucking love that lore. Those like 13 chapters are great.
My last comment about the lore.
Great.
My last comment about the lore in Black Armory, and I'm gonna use my comparison to the
Great.
my last comment about the lore in Black Armory, and I'm gonna use my comparison to the to Drifter. I feel like the lore in Black Armory happens in real. connected than.
Well,
Yeah.
ask the Destiny
More
Ghost
humane.
Stories podcast guys. They think they
Why?
just absolutely ruined it.
Oh,
They
okay.
didn't
Okay.
have a-
Well, I
They're
don't.
not
I don't
even making
disagree.
a podcast at this point.
I don't.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Making a
Yeah.
podcast at this point.
Then.
Well,
Black
ask
Armory
the
was
Destiny
more
Ghost
humane.
Stories podcast guys. They think they just absolutely ruined it.
Oh,
They don't
I don't know
have
about that.
They're not even making a podcast at this point.
I don't.
A pretty
Proving
good job.
themselves again and again.
I would disagree.
A pretty
Proving
good job.
themselves again and again. Lore writers cannot write a bad story.
Yeah,
You
they've
know,
done a
they've
pretty
proven
good job.
themselves again and again.
I would disagree with that, and I'm gonna bring up Drifter stuff here that I shouldn't. But I'm gonna
We
disagree.
could just
Well,
save that.
we're on the
I want-
point.
Yeah, we should save that. I want to rant about that too.
Okay, we'll save that. We'll rant
Yeah.
about it later. I think I have a suspicion that you and I are gonna. That you and I are going to rant about the same thing, and it involves
Well,
the
I'm
man
gonna
with the
rant
golden
about-
gun.
I'm a rant about how happy I am.
Spoiler warning: we did not rant about the same thing.
I'm going to rant about how pissed off I am about what they did with the man with the golden gun.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll save it. Let's save it.
Okay, Alphonse, you have more to discuss regarding lore?
As far as Black Armory stuff, not
Yeah, there are things going on that aren't connected. I kind of like that now with that. Yeah, there are things going on that aren't connected to us. When
yeah.
they're really
There's
cool.
more to there's more to the world than just the Guardians. Like there's
Yeah.
obviously humanity, you know, and humanity.
Oh man.
When
Yeah,
they're really
there's
cool.
more to there's more to the world than just the Guardians. Like there's
Oh, when Dislikes is speaking at the same time as Alphonse, it just fucks the audio. See if that fixes it a little bit.
Really
there's
cool.
more to the world than just the Guardians. Like there's
I cut it over here.
there's more to the world than just the Guardians. Like there's obviously humanity, you know, and humanity's gonna do what it does best and do things.
Survive.
Bone
Yeah.
until the end of time and bring back a lost civilization? Sorry, I just had to go there.
Because I mean, I'm sure there's more cities than just.
What is all of this noise?
Survive.
Bone
Yeah.
until the end of time and bring back a lost civilization? Sorry,
I mean,
I just had...
Because I mean, I'm sure there's more cities than just our city. You know, there's more people in the world than just our city. You know,
Well, it is
Not
the
the
last
most
say
evidence of that.
city on Earth.
Yeah, but
but there's still
but-
tons of
dangerous
people
cities.
everywhere.
But
Yeah.
there's also the
Dangerous.
question of
All of this can get cut because he's not really. You can't hear him adding anything, and it's not really actually adding anything.
City, you know.
Well, it is the last say city on Earth.
But there's still
but-
tons of people everywhere.
But
Yeah,
there's also the
true.
question of, other civilizations. Palamon, for example. Going back to the Drifter, I'm not actually going to
Yeah.
discuss it. But Palamon was a known settlement.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I have to pause it. Once again, Soren going nuts with his controller. Let's see, but cut this to here. It's not often Fulgen gets to say something.
Yeah.
Try it. Cool.
You and me both.
That's okay.
All right.
You don't have to be interested.
Up regarding lore.
No, I am a well-known non-lore guy.
Yeah.
Try it. Cool.
You and me both.
That's okay. You don't have to be interested.
It's not. I love listening to it. Honestly, I just I think because I started back in D1.
How am I gonna do this? Do this. Grab this.
Non-lore guy.
Yeah. You and me both.
Be interested.
It's not. I love listening to it. Honestly, I just I think because I started back in D1. Primarily, and there wasn't a lot of lore story to start. It never caught on, and that's
You need to get
It's not a
yourself a
bad thing.
grimoire.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, the Grimoire. The Grimoire was fucking amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
God, the Grimoire. The Grimoire.
Oh God. Oh, fuck you. What? Oh, I keep hitting the Windows button instead of Control. Whoops.
Get yourself
not
a
a bad thing.
grimoire.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, the Grimoire. The Grimoire was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it
Not
was good.
sponsored. Not sponsored.
Okay, well, since that was actually our last topic on.
There's a bit of an awkward pause here. Cut all of this out. So grab all of this. Whoop. Cut this down to here. Cut this down to here. Does this sound?
Okay, well, since that was actually our last topic on Black Armory, why don't we move into Season of the Drifter?
Mhm.
I know. Just okay, well, okay,
Fuck you.
I know. Just discussed lore, but I want to keep to the schedule specifically so we can build up the anticipation. General opinion, just all around.
Blah.
Blah.
If you didn't like Gambit, Season of the Drifter was.
Blah.
If you didn't like Gambit, Season of the Drifter was probably not for you, right? That was the problem.
I'm gonna repeat what I said for Niobe Labs. On paper,
That was the problem.
I'm gonna repeat what
Was probably not for you, right? That was the problem.
I'm gonna.
Is this the cat?
That's healthy. That's healthy.
Well, I loved it.
That's healthy. Execution lacking.
Well, I loved it.
That's healthy.
Just a little too long of a thing here, so I'm gonna cut out about that much. And grab all this. Bring it forward that little bit. Whoop. That's cool. No, quit. There we go. Whoa. Now I'll bring it forward. There we go.
Execution lacking.
Well, I loved it.
That's healthy.
I am extremely happy with this season and the things that we've been brought to, even the most recent updates that we've had.
And I should say, it's not all bad, obviously.
Yeah, there have been some high points. There absolutely.
Are we going to talk about Revelry later, or is that like scheduled?
Let's save that for after. That's separate. We should
That
do
will.
that after.
That's technically part of Season of the Drifter, but that will come later in the Season of the Drifter section.
Sure. So overall thoughts for me is, are we going to talk about Revelry later, or is that like scheduled?
Let's save that for after. That's separate. We should
that
do
will.
that after.
That's technically part of Season of the Drifter, but that will come later in the.
Yeah, see him going for my job there. What's this bit?
Yeah, there have been some high points. There absolutely.
Are we going to talk about Revelry later, or is that like scheduled?
Let's save that for after. That's separate. We should do
that
after.
Should I keep dorks on?
That's healthy.
I am extremely happy with this season. And
yeah. Not adding anything. Cut that out.
I am extremely happy with this season and the things that we've been brought to, even the most recent updates that we've had.
Just a bunch of noise here. You can see me fucking around with my UI there because I accidentally screwed stuff up. Let's see what this.
That's separate. We should
that
do
will.
that after.
That's technically part of.
Must be so good.
I'm putting you on the pedestal. You are the deciding vote here. No pressure.
I like Gambit for
Just like trying to get his
play a whole ton of it this season.
Okay, so we're at 2 for 2. I'm going to cut you off there because we're at 2 for 2. Door Throne, I'm putting you on the pedestal. You are the deciding vote here. No pressure.
I liked Gambit for a minute, but as a non-PvP guy, there wasn't a ton there.
You are the deciding vote here. No pressure.
I liked Gambit for a minute, but as a non-PvP guy, there wasn't a ton there for me, and I wasn't very good at Gambit, so that didn't help either. So I don't have strong forings for or against.
Oh, that's a cop out.
2.5.
That's a cop out.
2.5 out of 5.
True neutral.
All right, it wasn't for me. Negative. Thumbs down.
A little too much chaos going on here.
Oh, that's a cop out.
2.5.
That's a cop out.
2.5 out of 5.
True neutral.
For or against.
Oh, that's a cop out.
2.5.
That's a cop out.
2.5 out of 5.
Oh, that's a cop out.
2.5.
That's a cop out.
2.5 out of 5.
True neutral.
All right, it wasn't for me. Negative. Thumbs down.
There you go.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
I'm a hater. I can do it.
Fulgent, I cut you off. Go ahead and continue.
There you go.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
I'm a hater. I can do it.
Fulgent, I cut you off. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, so my thing is this.
I wonder how it sounds cutting this off.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
I'm a hater. I can do it.
Fulgent, I cut you off. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, so my
It'd be fine if I just cut this one out.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
I'm a hater. I can do it.
Fulgent, I cut you off. Go ahead and continue.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds a bit better. That's chaotic, but also less empty space filled in there. Whoa! Let's see what.
Of Gambit to just being a sudden death.
Yep, don't need to keep that in.
Not catching up.
Yeah.
I actually
whereas-
haven't noticed. I'm gonna.
More Soren playing video games. Well, shit. What? There's a Soren laugh.
The way that I mean, so absolutely, there are scenarios in which you can come back in Gambit Prime. I would say
1 or 2 invasions on the other team, it's impossible to come back from.
See, I think that's like actually just not true. The way that I mean, so absolutely, there are scenarios in
Keep this initial laugh in, but the rest of it comes out. And then more clacking from Soren.
See, I think that's like actually just not true. The way that I mean, so absolutely, they're just not going to be as competitive. Now, the one exception to that is if your comp is just far and away better than the other team. I want to give like a shout out to my Warlocks here because like Warlock Nova Bomb and
Let's see what this
is just like bonkers.
So Theo, you still along for the ride with me? Because it says there's 2 people watching, and I know one of them is me. See what this is.
Teams, right?
Yeah.
And so like
I don't know why, but every time Soren says something, it's always followed by him clacking the fuck away at his game. So I end up having to cut it real close to his audio. Sweet. Yeah, you went silent, so I wasn't sure if you just left it on in the background or what. Got any more questions, or are you just enjoying watching me?
small probability or a smaller probability than the other one.
I would say that you can come back from behind if the enemy team
Probability or a smaller probability than the other one.
I would say that you can come back from behind if the enemy team makes a mistake.
Or enjoying watching me.
If they hold it
edit this thing
together,
down, or you enjoying like
It's
sneak
very
peeks on the
rare.
episode?
But you can come back if they make a mistake. And I think that's key. And I think you could debate about whether that's healthy or not. But
True.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I believe that is healthy because that is representation of a good
watching.
team built activity. Because the same could be said about competitive PvP. If you have a good team,
Would you like me narrating stuff as I do this still? Like my thought process on why I cut specific stuff, or are you just getting the ASMR of me occasionally clacking my keyboard when I cut stuff out?
but
True.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I believe.
Or are you just listening in and thinking about what you would cut and what you wouldn't?
Mistakes or something like that, or if somebody disconnects or something like that.
Both. What were the 2 options again? Just ASMR and you want me saying stuff out, or both your ASMR and
Master, I have
your own
limited
feed?
inventory space. They keep giving me new sets of armor that I have to keep around, and and it's really annoying. So I was pretty down on that, but Reckoning was fun.
Okay, so
Reckoning
since you brought up Reckoning, and
Cut this out. Where is it?
I was pretty down on that.
I'll keep that one in. Cut this out. What does he say here?
But Reckoning was fun.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Reckoning
since
is-
you brought up Reckoning, and the two of you have been going up.
There's just like doing more uh-huhs. Cut this out. It's just gonna be noise. That's not a laugh, is it? Yeah.
On Reckoning.
Reckoning.
Well, I'm just going to touch on Prime just real quick. What I liked about
Go
Prime
ahead.
was
A lot of my thought process is just cleaning it up and removing a lot of redundancy, mostly. Like a lot of people saying, yeah, it doesn't really add anything to the conversation.
Postmaster, I have limited inventory
Yeah.
space. They keep giving me new sets of armor that I have to keep around, and it's really annoying. So I was pretty down on that, but Reckoning was fun.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Reckoning
since
is-
you brought up Reckoning, and the two of you have been going on about this for a little while, I'm going to throw it to Alphonse and Dorkthrone on Reckoning.
Reckoning.
well, I'm just going to
Okay, so there's a little bit here that can probably get cut out. What I can do is grab all of this and bring it forward. Maybe not all the way. I want to keep a bit of a gap there because I did cut it pretty close.
This for a little while. I'm going to throw it to Alphonse and Dorkthrone on Reckoning.
Reckoning.
well, I'm just going to touch on Prime just real quick. What I liked about
Go
Prime
ahead.
was specifically the armors, because I feel like the armors are what enhance those comeback capabilities. At least for me, I've gotten maybe
Someone's slacking away. This is all empty. This is all empty. What's this?
Swing, yeah.
Well, and can I just say that
Swing, yeah.
close the gap.
That's a 40-point swing, yeah.
well, and can I
That was me hitting spacebar.
That's a 40-point swing, yeah.
Somebody else hitting spacebar. I don't know why I try to get to the yellow, because it doesn't matter when I'm cutting this much out. I can just go like that far. You know, Theo, if you do want to try your hand at editing this thing, just let me know. I do still have all of the Audacity files and everything, and I can shoot them over to you, and you can play around with it yourself. Maybe if you end up editing the episode and you like, and you send it over to me and I like it, I might just make you the editor. You have no choice in the matter.
That can really close the gap.
That's a 40-point swing, yeah.
Well, and can I just say that like I also am somewhat biased against like
A lot of noise here. Not sure who it's coming from. Might be coming from Fulgent. That might be his spacebar while he's playing.
Really close the gap.
That's a 40-point.
Actually, it looks like it's Alphonse.
Can really close the gap.
That's a 40-point swing, yeah.
Yeah.
well, and can I just say that like
Can really close the gap.
Whoa!
That's a 40-point swing, yeah.
well, and
I'm going to interrupt you for a second here and say that I love that you said, can I discuss this thing, and immediately went into it before I could even respond. But go ahead and
notice
continue.
I did that, but yeah.
A lot of this is just cutting noise out that doesn't contribute anything. More of the noise.
Into it before I could even respond. But
Didn't
go ahead
even
and
notice
continue.
I did that, but yeah. Yeah, like, and you see this with the PvP pinnacle weapons too. It's like, and those I have my own opinions on.
I used to go into here and take
Yeah.
sips.
Yeah, like,
And I would just take all of this and cut all this out just to make it go a bit better. Like, here, I'll demonstrate. Take that, cut it out, and then slide this up like so, and then...
I did that, but yeah. And you see this with the PvP pinnacle weapons too.
But go ahead and continue.
I did that, but yeah. And you see this with the PvP pinnacle weapons too. It's like
I would clean it up and do that, just so it's, a bit cleaner. There's a lot less. I don't want to say dead air because it's not actually dead air, but just like and likes. Actually, exactly what I was just doing right now. I don't really do that anymore just because it's a massive. Then I would actually have to listen to all of the audio all the way through and find all the little ones and cut them out. And if I leave any of them in when if I cut all of those out for a half-hour period and then I start leaving them in for half an hour, then it just sounds weird. And I decided it's easier to just fucking leave it in.
Love that, although I'm open to argument on it.
No,
I mean, you should always be rewarded for your efforts, though.
You should, but what all that does is
cut all this out. Where does this end?
I'm open to argument on it.
No, I think
It's right about here, so I'll cut all this out. Cut this little bit from Alphonse, just because fucking me.
I'm open to argument on it.
No, I think
you should always be rewarded for your efforts, though.
You should, but what all that does is it makes the people who have the time to put into grinding through and getting full sets and getting everything, it makes them unstoppable, basically, against.
More noise. I'm assuming this is noise.
Yeah, because I was busy in the beginning of the season, and so I got into Prime.
More noise. What's this?
Also, everybody was done with Gambit Prime, so yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down here and move us on to the next topic like I've been trying for 10 minutes. So, Dork...
I'm going to leave that little laugh in because otherwise there's this awkward pause in my speech. If I were to cut this out, for example.
Like I've been trying for 10 minutes. So, Dork Throne, I'm going to throw it over to you.
I'm just going to leave it in because otherwise it feels awkward. Just a pause. And I could cut his laugh out and cut it down, but like I said, I like having people laughing.
Talking this gear, and I was just like, Also, everybody was done with Gambit Prime, so yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down here and
cut more of this out. Cut this out to here. What's all this?
10 minutes. So, Dork Throne, I'm going to throw it over to you. Do you want to comment on Gambit Prime, or would you like to move on to Reckoning?
I haven't played.
I'll just hacking. See what this is.
Gambit thing a lot more, and I played Reckoning because
that one doesn't help much.
Clarifies my feelings about the whole Gambit thing a lot more, and I played Reckoning because I had dropped out of the game a bit, and then when I heard that it was even marginally tied to Gambit, I had no interest in coming back and figuring it out. So it's still kind of on my to-do list.
Okay, well, sorry, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna miss out on this conversation for a little bit. Soren, we've been. Well, then
I'm gonna hop in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna miss out on this conversation for a little. Okay, well, sorry, you're
I'm gonna hop in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna miss out on this conversation for a little bit. Soren, we've
But I'm
been
going to speak a
you
little
out
bit
quite a
to.
bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to speak a little bit to.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna hop in.
miss out on this conversation for a little bit. Soren, we've
But I'm
been
going to speak a little bit to. Yeah, I'm going to speak a little bit to Dorks.
This is a bit awkward. Maybe I should cut it here.
a little bit. Soren, we've
But I'm going to speak a little bit to.
Oh. I just cut out the go ahead bit.
Soren, we've
But
been
I'm going to speak a
you
little
out
bit to. Yeah, I'm going to speak a little bit to Dorks
That's a bit
comment there
more
because I was the sort of the same
natural.
way. I'm not a huge Gambit fan. I'm not terrible at it. I just think it gets repetitive very quick. But the
list.
Okay, well,
well,
sorry, you're
I'm
gonna
gonna hop
miss
in.
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna miss out on this conversation for a little bit. Soren, we've
But I'm
been
going to speak a
you
little
out
bit to. Yeah, I'm going to speak a little bit to.
Oh no. Maybe it would be a bit more natural just cutting it off here.
conversation for a little bit. Soren, we've
But I'm
been
going to speak a little bit to. Yeah, I'm going to speak a little bit to Dorks.
No, it to keep it natural, gotta cut that bit out. Or leave that bit in. Because otherwise it just sounds like I actually am cutting myself out, which I am, but I want it to sound natural.
And you know, we're going to cover this a little bit later.
Ooh.
Is
Okay.
that it was clearly designed around certain pieces of armor and certain subclasses, and it reinforces why Bungie with Tether and Orpheus rigs, or a Warlock with Skull or Phoenix Protocol.
I
You're
have
not getting
the
past the bridge.
I have
Okay,
the perfect.
dislike. Hold on.
Okay,
Dislike.
sure.
Hold on. You weren't here for this.
I have
Okay,
the perfect.
dislike. Hold on. Dislike.
Also, I'm really fucking up.
You're not getting past the bridge.
I have
Okay,
the perfect.
dislike. Hold on. Dislike.
Okay, sure.
Hold on. You weren't here for this. At the beginning of this episode, it was made very clear. All
we're
of
not
this
gonna-
discussion on those particular topics, those nerfs.
I figured that was the case going in. I totally
Yeah.
understand that. I was actually
That's gonna
gonna
be.
just.
We're gonna save that for the end of the episode. Whatever discussion.
I might have to go in here and actually spot reduce my.
Okay,
Perfect.
dislike. Hold on. Dislike.
Okay,
That hold on is really fucking loud. God damn it. Nope, not how I wanted to do that. What? Okay. Here. Fuck. I can never remember how to use the transform tool. It's okay, so that's general. Is it directly at these bits? Yep. And another one at this end. Reduce down here. See how that sounds.
I have the
Okay,
perfect.
dislike. Hold on. Dislike.
Okay, sure.
Hold on. You weren't here for this. At the beginning of this episode, it was made very clear. All
we're
of
not
this
gonna-
discussion on those particular
no,
topics, those nerfs.
I already. I figured that was the case going in. I totally
Yeah.
understand that. I was actually
That's gonna
gonna
be-
just.
Okay.
very clear. All
we're
of
not
this
gonna-
discussion on those particular
no,
topics, those nerfs.
I already. I figured that was the case going in. I totally
Yeah.
understand that. I was.
Should also be noted, I was fairly drunk at this point, so I kind of barged over people a lot. Holy shit, my thing is still huge here.
I was actually gonna just.
We're gonna save that for the end of the episode. Whatever discussion, whatever you want to say for those particular things. End of the
No, yeah.
episode.
This
we're
is only
gonna go
This
nuts on
is
it.
only related to the use of
the reckoning part. Yeah.
The use of like you need to have the armors to do the reckoning. I have
Yeah,
an
that's-
anecdote for that where early on, I got use of
The reckoning.
use of
That's-
an anecdote for that where I have
Yeah,
an
that's-
anecdote for that where early on. The use of like you need to have the armors to do the reckoning. What's the getaway
Fire
artist
Fancy.
to drop?
No,
I
yeah.
got getaway artist to drop, and I was really psyched about it. And then I was like, all right, so I need to go get this armor, and I need to go get this
Oh, wait.
and I was really psyched about it. And then I was like, all right, so I need to go get this
That was
need
beer
to go
number
get-
6. Actually, that might have been beer number 5. One that you could hear crack open.
rift,
Mhm.
and everyone just kind of looks at me, and I'm like, but I got my arc boy though. I want to.
What's this?
Though I want to try this out, and no way around it.
Yeah.
And that's something we will go further in depth
Yeah.
in.
I was
later
only
on.
touching on it for the sake of reckoning.
Holy crap, you can tell how drunk I was getting because my speech patterns get fucked. I talk slow.
Further in depth
Yeah.
in.
I was
later
only
on.
touching on it for the sake of reckoning, where
Yeah.
And that's something we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how
That it was designed around certain.
the sake of reckoning, where you kind of feel it.
Yeah.
How
That it was designed around certain pieces
Mhm.
and certain subclasses.
Kind of want a beer now.
Yeah. That it was designed around certain pieces
Mhm.
and certain subclasses. But that said, it is sort of unique mode and it is a lot of fun.
Oh,
I
Bridge
will
of
say
Folly
that.
is great. Bridge of
We'll
Folly
say,
is super
right,
good.
if you're not a Gambit fan, I have to play Gambit to get synths.
That too.
Where you're just
Yep.
doing normal game stuff can award you these synths to go get these armor sets and play Reckoning, I think was a very good option
Yeah.
for those that don't want to play a lot of Gambit.
There's a lot of Lauren, click audio. I do believe I'm gonna have to limit my alcohol intake in future episodes. Oh, fuck you. What's this?
Same as
Yeah.
Black Armory, the Forges. I don't have much time because I don't have much time and I'm trying to get fucking Jotun.
Now, once again, I probably don't have to cut out those little bits. I believe it reduces file size. I just do it out of habit.
Yeah.
Would you?
Brings us back to the thing that I wanted to discuss back in the thing that we completely skipped in Black Armory.
Yeah,
The
favorite
exotics.
Mhm.
We never talked about the exotics.
Oh yeah.
Do we
Of
want
Black
to?
Armory.
Do we want to disallow any continued Jotun debate because inevitably it's going to come up here?
What should I cut out here? Cut that out. Alphonse?
Yeah.
Would you?
Brings us back to the thing that I wanted to discuss back in the thing that we completely skipped in Black Armory.
Yeah,
The
favorite
exotics.
Mhm.
We never talked about the exotics.
Oh yeah.
Do we
Of
want
Black
to?
Armory.
I can cut out that. Oh, Black Armory. I'm gonna cut Alphonse out here just because it was bad, and also I need to go into this little bit of dislikes audio because what the fuck is that?
Want to dis?
That was weird. What? Let's see if that fixes it.
Do we want to? Do we want to disallow any continued?
Man, that's still real fucking loud. I don't think I can bring that down any further. Mm. Oh god, I'm getting some weird fucking waveform shapes there. Let's see, how's that look?
Want to? Do we want to disallow any continued Jotun debate because inevitably it's going to come up here?
If I'm gonna do that, I think I need to add another one down here. Bring this down further. How's that?
Do we want to? Do we want to disallow any continued Jotun debate because inevitably it's going to come up here?
How about we just go over the exotics of, because we didn't go over the weapons, our favorite
Yeah.
weapons of Black Armory. So let's do favorite weapons and exotics of Black Armory and Gambit now. Go.
The problem about cutting it specifically is because I gotta find the thing again first. Because it's right here, right at the tail end of him speaking, it's gonna sound really awkward if I try to cut it.
Do we want to? Do we want to?
Yeah, because he goes, want to, like, where would I cut it here?
Do we want to? Do we want to disallow?
Maybe I could cut this a little bit out.
Do we want to disallow any?
Let's see what kind of magic I can work here. First, let's bring this back up so I can actually see what the fuck I'm doing. And then we'll cut out Soren's clacking noises. Grab everybody here. Pull this up.
Never talked about the exotics.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to disallow any continued
that actually
Jotun debate? Because inevitably it's going to come up here.
How about we just go over the exotics
deal.
of, because we didn't go over the weapons, our favorite
Yeah.
weapons of Black Armory. So let's do favorite weapons and exotics of Black Armory and Gambit now. Go.
That worked out really well. Yeah, it wasn't that it added anything. It was the because of where it was, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to cut it without it sounding really weird. Like if I cut it right in the middle of a waveform. But thankfully, he did do that. Want to repetition, and I was able to cut that out entirely.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to disallow?
Black Armory.
Yeah,
The
favorite gear?
exotics. We never talked about the exotics.
Oh yeah.
Cut this little bit out.
Black Armory.
Yeah,
The
favorite gear?
exotics. We never talked about the exotics.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to disallow any continued Jotun debate? Because inevitably it's going to come up here.
How about we just go over the exotics of
Disallow any continued Jotun debate? Because inevitably it's going to come up here.
how about we just go over the exotics of, because we didn't go over the weapons, our favorite
Yeah.
weapons. Fonts start.
Oh, all of them at once. Got it.
No, not all of us at once. Alphabetical order.
No,
No,
all of the seasons. Favorites.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So was that really fucking loud on your end? Because I have it coming through my TV, and it wasn't loud, but it was, oh shit, that's something that's gonna blow out people's speakers.
Got it.
Loud.
No, not all of us at once. Alphabetical order.
No,
No,
all of the seasons. Favorites.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Favorite from each.
Yeah, because we skipped the
Yeah, you're right.
Black Armory.
Good idea.
So
Cut out my little so here because that doesn't add anything.
All of the seasons. Favorites.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Favorite from each.
Yeah, because we skipped.
Cut that out. Cut this out. Oh, sorry about that. I honestly didn't know about it during recording. That didn't actually come up.
The
Yeah, you're right.
Black Armory.
Good idea.
So definitely for Black Army, well, for primary weapons, I'll start with primary weapons. Obviously, Outbreak.
So you're not getting much of a sneak preview of the episode here. This is generally what my editing process is. I just jump from speech bit to speech bit.
Cerberus for the longest time
Wasn't
until
that a
Outbreak
Forsaken,
came
though?
out. Was it?
Yeah. That was a Forsaken one.
Yeah.
Forsaken one.
Unfortunately, the season of the Forge only had like targeted exotics. There was no world drops.
Yep.
You had to go do a thing to get a new exotic.
Yep.
I think you just got Cerberus +1 in season of Forge. I might remember that.
Yeah, that's what it
I
was.
might remember that. Season of Forge. I might remember
Yeah,
that.
that's what it was.
I might remember that.
Hold on, let me bring-
In Black Armory. Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Put Alphonse out here because he's the most garbled of the two.
+1 in Season of Forge. I might
Black
remember
Armor,
that.
Yeah.
I might remember that.
Hold on, let me bring up my exotic list real quick then.
That's fine. Yeah.
That could be funny.
I remember that.
Hold on, let me bring up.
I swear, this like.
Let me bring up my exotic list real quick then.
That's fine. Yeah.
That could be funny.
I want to be able to just bring Alphonse in here because he's the one talking. But
Hold on, let me bring up my exotic list real quick then. That could be funny. So if we want to talk about exotics first, Yo and While I Do Not Have It is definitely very love-hate.
not too bad, so I'm gonna cut this like that here.
That could be funny. So if we want to talk about exotics,
Just gonna cut all this little bit out then. And bring this up here.
bring up my exotic list real quick then. That could be funny. So if we want to talk about exotics first,
Cut that out because that's can't understand the thing he's saying. God damn it! Pull this up.
Season of Forge. I might remember that. I might remember that.
hold on, let me bring up my exotic list real quick then. So if we want to talk about exotics first, Yo and While I Do Not Have It is definitely very love-hate.
Yeah.
I love it when I have people on my team.
Just like here, not adding anything.
That's
It's probably the most true statement you can make about.
I mean, I'm just gonna channel Piccolo here and ask why you didn't dodge.
This like's got the giggles, I swear.
for sure. That's
It's probably the most true statement you can make about.
I mean, I'm just gonna channel Piccolo here and ask why you didn't dodge.
Oh god. Oh god, no.
Sometimes I don't
yeah.
look towards my weak point.
Keep everybody's reaction in there.
I don't see my weak points.
So I'm gonna just point out the three exotics. They were La Monarque, Izanagi's Burden, and
right.
Jotun were the three exotics from Black Armory.
Yep.
Were the three exotics from Black Armory.
Yep.
So, were there any other weapons that you really liked?
Oh, and last word. Last word falls on.
Oh. It's the cat. That's where he is. Fuck. Bye, kitty. What is this audio?
Oh yeah.
Last word, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, am I not on mute? I hit the mute button. Oh, I hit the mute button on my desktop. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I'm on my phone.
We should
Last word falls on
Oh yeah.
Last word, yeah.
So Izanami I'm working on. I think it's a very cool concept, being able to just basically
One
take
shot.
a gamble on, do I want multiple
Yeah.
small shots or do I want to go for the big payoff with a single? I think that is super cool. I really enjoy that.
That cat must
It's
have
cute.
a massive toy in his mouth.
Oh, am I not on mute?
No, you're
No.
not.
Then
That
you
cat's
put-
No, you're
adorable.
not.
Oh, I hit the mute button on my desktop. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I'm on my phone.
We should definitely have a sign off portion of the podcast where like we just put random clips and or somebody pontificating on something unrelated to the content, and the cat should definitely make it into that.
I think for the intro for this episode, I'm gonna replace nonlinear pine saying "Let's start" and cracking open beer with a cat.
There you go. But like,
That cat-
if you listen to limited resources,
Okay, I'm gonna keep that cat bit in because that was fucking awesome.
On, I think it's a very cool concept, being able to just basically
One
take
shot.
a gamble on, do I want multiple
Yeah.
small shots or do I want to go for the big payoff with a single? I think that is super cool. I really enjoy that.
That cat must
It's
have
cute.
a massive toy in his mouth. That cat must
It's
have
cute.
a massive toy in his mouth.
Oh, am I not on mute?
No, you're
No.
not.
Then
That
you
cat's
put-
No, you're
adorable.
not.
Oh, I hit the mute button on my desktop. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I'm on my phone.
we should definitely have a sign off portion of the podcast where like
Okay, gonna keep that.
unrelated to the content, and the cat should definitely make it into that.
I think
On something unrelated to the content, and the cat should definitely make it into that.
I think for the intro for this episode, I'm gonna.
That's
No, you're
adorable.
not.
Oh, I hit the mute button on my
Cat.
There you go. But like,
That cat-
if you listen to limited resources or go to lrsignoffs.com, like that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. LRcast, one of my favorite. But this isn't a Magic the Gathering podcast. Dork Throne. Weapons go. This isn't a Magic the Gathering podcast. Dork Throne. Weapons go.
Probably does Hammerhead count? Does Hammerhead count in this?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah.
a large weapon.
Yeah, I mean, as far as
Just gonna keep a little kitty engine in there, just for fun.
does Hammerhead count in this?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah.
a large weapon.
Yeah, I mean, as far as weapons I've used a ton and love in PvE, I love Hammerhead, and the only count in this.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah.
a large weapon.
Yeah. Does Hammerhead count in this?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah.
a large weapon.
Yeah, I mean, as far as weapons I've used a ton and love in PvE, I love Hammerhead, and the only exotic.
Jotun.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. Effulgent, your take.
So I don't have any of them.
Yotun, if that's that. I guess that's how you say it. And I love that
Yep.
damn weapon for just mindless PvE stuff. It's a blast.
Can I say that I hate you because I still have yet to get it to drop?
I got. Yeah, I mean, it's
Still have yet to get it to drop.
I got lucky.
Yeah. Jotun.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, Effulgent, your take.
So
That I hate you because I still have yet to get it to drop.
I got lucky.
All right, Effulgent, your take.
so I don't have any of them.
Oof.
All three have made an appearance in PvP and an impact. Just like stop and finish shooting them. And I mostly play with like a hand cannon and a shotgun, so that like you. And if they put it away, then just like stop and finish shooting them. And I mostly play with like a hand cannon and a shotgun, so that like Jade Rabbit on maps where there's like long sight lines.
But you have no other like legendaries like Tatara Gaze, Bug Out Bag.
I do have like
any
Tatar
of those
Gaze.
things?
I'm just like quite crap with sniper.
I have no other like legendaries like Tatara Gaze, Bug Out Bag.
I do have like Tatar Gaze. I'm just like quite crap with.
I have no other like legendaries.
Or stupid.
Right. All right. So next person, disliked. You seem like you really have something you want to say, so I'm going to skip over you, Soren.
Like, I'm not
Legendaries
doing
and
anything.
exotics. What do you like?
It's really
from
agreeable.
this and last season.
I'm a
So I'm going to skip over you, Soren.
Like, I'm not
Legendaries
doing
and
anything.
exotics. What do you like?
It's really
from
agreeable.
this and last season.
I'm a big fan of.
That laugh covers over everybody else. So.
Skip over you, Soren.
Like, I'm not
Legendaries
doing
and
anything.
exotics. What do you
It's
like?
really
from
agreeable.
this and last season.
I'm a big fan of Jotun myself,
Mhm.
but I'm a huge fusion rifle guy. So even before it was
Exotics. What do you
It's
like?
really
from
agreeable.
I'm a big fan of Jotun myself.
exotics. What do you like?
Atmosphere, but we can only hold a bow string for 20 seconds. So I don't see how those things mesh together.
I would argue that
I mean, we can throw space magic and breathe on planets without atmosphere, but we can only hold a bow string for 20 seconds. So
I think that was the sneeze, actually.
things mesh together.
I would argue that's more of a gameplay and story segregation thing than a in-world explanation kind of thing.
I know it is, absolutely, but it just doesn't jive, is one.
Kind of thing.
I know it is, absolutely, but it just doesn't jive, is what I'm saying.
You was the charge and uncharge it. So this you probably do. You're Soren. You're smart as fuck, but the audience might not know. If you press square while you're holding the bow, you can not fire it and bring it back to the ready state. And as long as you're holding continuously charge and uncharge it.
For
So
the
you
record,
never
What is
actually
this?
have
What
to
is
worry
this
about it.
square?
yeah,
you speak
I was
of?
gonna
Yeah.
poke in and say
it's the
where
reload
is
X fucking
reload button.
R whatever. Charge and uncharge it.
For
I'm
the
sorry,
record.
what is this? What is this
This-
square?
yeah,
you speak
I was
of?
gonna
Yeah.
poke in and say
it's the
where
reload
is
button.
X like continuously charge and uncharge it.
I'm sorry, what is this? What is this
This-
square?
yeah,
you speak
I was
of?
gonna poke in and say
it's the
where
reload
is
button.
X fucking
Reload button.
R whatever PC
Reload
like
button.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Get out of my face.
Which
Okay.
for most bows works great, but
Yeah,
you speak
I was
of?
gonna poke in and say
it's the
where
reload
is
button.
X fucking
Reload button.
R whatever PC
Reload
like
button.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Get out of my face.
which
Okay.
for most bows works.
Keep that giggle in.
But the audience might not know. If you press draw it, so you
Yep.
can kind of like continuously charge and uncharge it.
I'm sorry, what is this? What is this square you speak of?
Yeah,
It's
the
where
reload button.
X fucking R whatever PC
the
like
reload.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Get out of my face.
Which for most bows works great, but for Le Monarque, you have to do that perfect draw thing. Which, if you have the hunter gauntlets, that'll
Keep forgetting I gotta pause to do that.
good in Death.
See,
They really are sleeper weapons, but you know.
Here's the thing I noticed.
Put myself out there. Cut that out. Cut this out. Cut all this out.
Thing, which if you
And, perfect draw headshots constantly with it.
It is
As
true that
long
you
as
do have to
you
time
don't-
it though.
As long
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
are good at and this is just practice, as long as you're good at reset and draw constantly with it.
It is
As
true that
long
you
as
do have to
you
time
don't-
it though.
As long as you
Yeah.
are good at and this is just practice, as long as you're good at reset and draw, you can always make those shots.
auto for me, and then
Maybe Outbreak Perfected with its rated fire is the only pulse rifle where I'm like,
I can live with that. Yeah, with auto. Yep, exactly. I one of the few heavies I ever put on.
All right, disliked.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to.
All right, disliked.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So
What? Why? Oh. God damn it. How that sounds.
I ever put on.
All right, disliked.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to my standouts for both.
Things I ever put on.
All right, disliked.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to my standouts for both seasons. Every single quest exotic that was marked on the calendar. So Thorn, Last Word, Outbreak, as far as I can remember, are all stellar in their own way. Thorn had a really interesting story, cool strike, cool lore.
What is this?
Yeah, one of the lowest time to kill in the game. You ignore the perk, you scope in, you go to tap.
Welcome to
yeah,
one.
yeah. One of the lowest time to kill in the game, and its
Really?
rate of fire makes it very quick to tap. Tap.
Welcome to
yeah,
one.
yeah. One of the lowest time to kill in the game.
Oh yeah, it was the same way in D1.
Yeah. So that's how it's coming out, and it's Outbreak. Outbreak is real.
I do have one question, Laura, related with its return. I know some of these weapons that we've gotten back, some retain their names, some have returned to us under new names. I wonder what the true difference between us and D1.
It's
Okay, so as I believe I'm kind of like the most lore heavy guy here. The thing about Outbreak Prime was it was created by Shiro. It wasn't created by an outside source. It was created by Shiro after we brought back all the material. We ended up with Outbreak Perfected. That's my headcanon.
and okay. So those are the three that I wanted to point out as like.
The Pain Toaster.
Yeah, it's very solid, like just all around, and I mean so in a design.
I'm sure you can understand or figure out just what we're talking about by the phrase pain toaster.
Sure.
Yeah, it's very solid, like mechanic sense. It's very good
Oh, I
gun.
mean, it definitely looks super cool. Little 9-volt battery popping in,
Yeah,
fire balls
yeah.
to death. Great.
Got the It's very good
Oh, I
gun.
mean, it definitely looks super cool. Little 9-volt battery popping in, fire balls to death. Great.
Got the noises and the shaky cam when you're firing. It's good. Yeah, that's my
So I
pitch.
mean, someone can attest. I'm not a fusion rifle of any type user. I don't like weapons that have a charge time at all. Even ones that have a spin up time, which obviously we don't have. I mean, you could
Yeah.
say sweet business to a degree, but
Thunderlord a little bit.
Both.
yeah, like you could say
Lord Soros regime.
Me, I like having weapons that are
Huckleberry.
consistent. All the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, full trigger. My pull trigger, I get exactly what I want as I want it. Not like this guy. This
That was fucking loud.
not like this guy.
That's
This guy
fair,
is
yeah.
running at me. I hope this spins up in time before he closes the door.
Cutting that out. Don't even know what he was trying to say there. What's this?
You want to too. With no in your work.
Whoa!
But also, yeah, when I rail, go when you want to.
Queenbreaker's bow.
Listen
Yeah,
to
same
this
stuff.
guy. Your opinion is not wrong.
Around a wait. You just want to go when you want to.
Queenbreaker's bow.
Listen
Yeah,
to
same
this
stuff.
guy. Your opinion is not wrong.
Alright, so Dork Throne, would you like Queenbreaker's bow?
Listen to this guy. Your opinion is not wrong.
Fortunately, I think I'm gonna have to leave this little bit in. Then I'll cut this out to here. This out to here.
Queenbreaker's bow.
Around a wait. You just want to go when you want to.
Queenbreaker's bow.
Listen
Yeah,
to
same
this
stuff.
guy. Your opinion is not wrong.
Alright, so Dork Throne, would you like to close us out?
What is this? Is this laughter?
Back lately, and it's just been like playing with the cheat code for PvE stuff and catching up.
Earlier?
No, I think I mean the Jotun thing playing with the cheat code for PvE stuff and catching up on things. It's just like I kind of grin whenever I'm melting stuff with it. So I like it for that element.
One of the most versatile guns.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and
Like it for that element.
One of the most versatile guns.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and as host, I'll go last. I want to mention my favorite gun across both seasons is Tatara Gaze, and it might just be because I got a god roll with
Up on things. It's just like up on things. It's just
because I got a god roll with appended mag, snapshot sights, and box breathing. But dear lord, Tatara Gaze, and I added it has a reload.
What?
Body. So if you have any sort of damage, you're going down. And in PvP, 4 shots essentially all the time. My normal loadout is Duke. For me.
Is
I can agree with that because during my Gambit grind during the weekend of the Double Infamy week, I didn't see snipers often, but if I did, it was typically a Tatar. If they happen to get that shot off.
I wish there was a way I could select a bunch and decide, nah, delete all of this except for this track. That'd be awesome.
If they happen to get that shot off first, it was over.
There have been multiple occasions where I
They happen to get that shot off.
fucking god moment.
You'd hate to see it.
Hero moment. That's what
is
they're called.
Tatar Gaze is a 2 slot, right?
Yeah, it's
Second,
the energy slot sniper rifle.
Yeah, that's my
Holy shit, I'm a fucking god moment.
You'd hate to see it.
Hero moment.
Is Tatar Gaze is a 2 slot, right?
Yeah, it's
Second,
the energy slot sniper rifle.
Yeah, that's my only dissatisfaction with it is that like my 2 slot is wish it was.
I think this might just be it might be a PC versus console thing where you guys use weapons we don't
You
use.
use hard light.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
don't use hard light.
Well, I know I'm rare in that I use hard light, but
Well, even Nightfall.
yeah, or
Nice
anything
game.
that just requires shooting down shields of a specific slot, and I wish it was.
I think this might just be a console thing where you guys use weapons we don't
You
use.
use hard light.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
don't use hard light.
Well, I know I'm rare in that I use hard light, but
Well, even like the
Exactly.
it's kind of
is it?
unmanageable. It's unmanageable the screen shake that happens.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Might just go to I hit the 1 hour 45-minute mark and then call it a night because I'm fucking
45
tired.
degrees.
Exactly.
It's kind of unmanageable. It's unmanageable. Like fire for a second and you're looking up 45 degrees.
Exactly.
It's kind of unmanageable. It's unmanageable the screen shake that happens.
Yeah, so this might be a console versus PC thing, or it might just be because I've been playing since Destiny 1. Destiny 1 and your PC,
And
so
it was worse than
Destiny 2.
Well, and we can just totally leave out hard light, right? Like that's a very idiosyncratic.
Since Destiny 1 and your PC,
and
so
it was worse than
Destiny 2.
Well, and we can just totally leave out hard. I can't really name them.
Yeah,
all
there's
off the
a
top
lot.
of my head, but there's just.
One in your PC,
and
so
it was worse than
Destiny 2.
Well, and we can just totally leave out. I don't know. I can't really name them.
Yeah,
all
there's
off
a
the top
lot.
of my head, but there's just a lot.
Well, that's
And
the point
every
that I'm
exotic
trying
hand cannon.
I would agree with
make
you.
is back in D1 we only had a primary spec.
just like wasn't able to actually get anything off there.
That's the
And
point
every
that I'm
exotic
trying
hand
to-
cannon.
That's the point that I'm trying to make is back in D1 we only had a primary special heavy, and it might just be my internal bias of I want a primary from
Or fusion.
or a fusion. Well, no, I don't use fusion.
Yeah.
Aside from
Or fusion.
or fusion. Well, no, I don't use fusion.
Yeah.
Aside from Polaris Lance in my energy slot, I only run specials, and it's just 3 years of bias in me. Is all.
I was also gonna point out that I think I agree with Ethel, but both me and Ethel are not.
bias in me. Is all.
I was also gonna point out that I think.
Damn it. Actually, you know what? Here's this. Do it that way.
One of the barriers to me practicing with it more is that there's just just getting a good roll on type stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. Being a PvP player, there aren't many uses of long range like that in PvP right now. Right now.
You kind of cut out there, so I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, I
what you
sorry.
said.
I was saying, in being a PvP player, there's not many maps and many uses for long range.
That's
I
not
would
true
say
in comp, but
I would say that maybe it's not necessarily about long range, but it's about being able to use a sniper effectively at any range.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
a
Whoop. One hour 45. Sweet.
press the mouse button.
Effulgent.
Yeah.
We're starting to go off into PvP.
Yeah, I was noticing. We're
So I'm going to move us on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Press the mouse button.
Effulgent.
scenery around you.
Well, there are places in the maps where people walk at the beginning of the match, and you literally just wait for somebody to walk into your sight line and press press the mouse button.
Effulgent. Yeah. We're starting to go off into PvP.
Yeah, I was noticing. We're
So I'm going to move us on to the next topic, which I'm sure Alphonse is just wetting himself waiting for. Take us into the lore.
The lore.
Just wetting himself waiting for. Take us into the lore. Take us into the lore.
The lore of
so upset.
Season of the Drifter.
Take us into the lore.
The lore of
so upset.
Season of the Drifter.
Take us into the lore,
Fucking lore,
Alphonse.
I don't
I had to rip you off of it earlier, so why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Drifter is the best.
I'm going to call that here. Save as save. Oh, looks like I made it about halfway. The Dork Throne had the least amount to say this entire thing. Looks like I had the most. Alright. I guess I'll stream again tomorrow, where I'll try to get more done. Maybe not the rest of the episode, because there's a lot to go over still. I'm probably going to go over to the back and clear out a lot of this stuff as well. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it.